Starting with one that was kind of most recently sprung on us. I think they only announced it, I think early this week or last week at the very latest. It's the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. Because of course you can't just have a men's battle royal. You can't just have a men's thing anymore. It's got to have a women's version of it too. So the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. The only thing to really note of this, obviously you're going to have your mishmash of female wrestlers in there, but like real smack dab right in the front is Asuka. Asuka was one of the first to be announced to be in that match, which is kind of ironic because you think that the WWE doesn't really want to do anything with her. They made her lose to Charlotte. They made her lose her belt 2 weeks before WrestleMania.
On a SmackDown show.
On a SmackDown show of all places. So putting her in the Women's Battle Royal, I don't know what direction they would go with that. I mean, she kind of seems like the obvious pick, maybe a little too obvious. Sometimes WWE's a little too obvious on that.
I think it's going to come down to who the participants are because they do like to do some nostalgic things by bringing back some of the older retired divas like Lita, Trish Stratus. I do think Asuka is to be the favorite, but it just depends on who else they bring back.
So I would say this. So of the announce, it's kind of your basics. You got from Raw, you got Dana Brooke, you got Mickie James, the entire Riot squad. So Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan. And then from SmackDown, a lot of SmackDown wrestlers. We got Asuka, like we talked about. Carmella. We got Naomi, who's no justice for Naomi. She's such a better wrestler than she gets credit for. That's a whole other side tag. I won't go on that. We got Lana. We got Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, and Zelina Vega. Who Zelina Vega is maybe 2 feet tall, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. She could do cartwheels underneath her bed. And then what they call free agent because they haven't just put her on a show yet. But one of my personal favorites, Nikki Cross. Love me Nikki Cross. I think she's awesome. And she's original and really cool. So basically, nobody really stands out in that group of kind of where they want to push next. So it kind of seems like Asuka would be the only one. But we talk about these battle royals at WrestleMania. Where exactly do the winners even go? Like what's the benefit of it? You get a big trophy, I think, whenever you win. But then what happens of it, you know?
Well, sometimes that superstar gets a push.
Sure.
Like Corbin won it at WrestleMania 32.
Yes.
And sometimes you end up having absolutely nothing done. But I think also this gives WWE a chance to bring up some of the women from NXT into that Battle Royale.
Which would be great. I'd love to see Shayna Baszler go up. That'd be a good place to put her. I also think Shayna Baszler is probably... She's too big for that. I hope they actually don't put her in there. I hope she gets a WrestleMania after Raw debut. That would be a lot more
like
fun.
with Paige.
Exactly. I think Shayna's definitely at that spot. I think she's awesome. She's a great heel female, and I think that'd be a good spot for her. So I guess wrapping it up, I mean, I'll say Asuka. That's probably the safest pick. I can't really think of anybody else in this group that would.
With the names that have been currently announced, I'm going with Asuka.
Okay, so that's a double Asuka. We may both be wrong, but that's probably the only one I'm willing to gamble on, so why not?